In the heart of Ijebu Ode, southwestern Nigeria, where the mighty rainforests whispered the songs of the ancestors, the throne of the Awujale stood as the embodiment of power, justice, and continuity. In 1450, according to legend, its ruling dynasty was founded by Obanta, whose personal name was Ogborogan of Ile-Ife. Among the first modern rulers to shape the destiny of Ijebuland was Oba Sikiru. His reign came at a turbulent time, the late 19th century, when the British sought to expand their colonial grip over the Yoruba people. Oba Sikiru was a symbol of tradition and resistance. Though surrounded by mounting pressure from colonial forces, he refused to let the Ijebu lose their autonomy easily. Under his watch, the Ijebu kingdom maintained a firm grip on the trade routes between Lagos and the interior. The British, frustrated by Ijebu tolls and sovereignty, launched the Ijebu Expedition of 1892, a conflict that changed the region's fate. Though the British forces triumphed militarily, the spirit of the Ijebu people endured. Oba Sikuru's passing marked the end of an era, an age when Yoruba monarchs stood as both spiritual and military leaders of their people. But his legacy as a protector of Ijebu pride would shape those who came after him. Following Sikiru, several Awujales ascended the throne, each navigating the increasingly complex intersection of tradition, colonialism, and modernity. Among them were Oba Sikiru Adeleke, Oba Adenuga Afidipotemole, Oba Ogbagba Agbotewole, Oba Daniel Adesanya Belegbua Setrekund, 1933 to 1959. Oba Daniel Adesanya, in particular, led Ijebu Ode during a time of cultural evolution. The colonial administration had taken deep roots, and the role of the Awujale was slowly shifting from ruler to royal custodian. Adesanya embraced this shift, encouraging Western education while still safeguarding the sacred institutions of Ijebu culture. He helped lay the foundation for what would become a bold, forward-thinking monarchy in the post-independence era. Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona, from the royal house of Anikinaya, was born on May 10, 1934, in Imupa, Ijebu Ode. On April 2, 1960, the same year Nigeria gained independence, a young prince named Sikiru Kayode Adetona, becoming Ogbagba Agbotewole II, the 57th Awujale of Ijebuland, and was crowned Awujale of Ijebuland. At just 26 years old, he became the fifth Awujale of the modern era, stepping into a role burdened with centuries of weight and expectation. But Oba Adetona was no ordinary monarch. Educated, cosmopolitan, and fiercely independent, he redefined what it meant to be a traditional ruler in modern Nigeria. Throughout his unprecedented 65-year reign, Oba Adetona wielded his influence with wisdom and principle. He fought tirelessly for the autonomy of traditional institutions, resisting efforts by politicians to reduce royal fathers to mere figureheads. In a political era marked by corruption and instability, Oba Adetona stood tall, nonpartisan, respected, and outspoken. He modernized the Ijebu throne, building palaces, encouraging the education of young Ijebu people, and establishing the Oba Sikiru Adetona Professorial Chair in Governance at Olabisi Onabanjo University, the first of its kind by any Nigerian monarch. He was also the spiritual head of the Ojude Oba Festival, transforming it into a world-class cultural celebration that attracted dignitaries, tourists, and the Yoruba diaspora every year. Oba Adetona was affectionately called Orisa Ijebu, the deity of Ijebu, for his immense impact. He became one of the most respected kings in Nigeria and Africa, bridging generations, guiding the kingdom through the civil war, military coups, democracy, and globalization. On Sunday, July 13, 2025, At the age of 91, Oba Adetona peacefully passed away at his residence in Ijebu Ode, Ogun State, marking the end of the longest reigning Awujale in history. The land mourned. Not only had they lost a king, but a guardian, a reformer, and a father figure to millions. Governor Dapo Abiodun formally announced the news, noting the shared sorrow that coincided with the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari on the same day. The rain fell gently in Ijebu Ode that week, as though the skies themselves wept. Markets closed, drums silenced, and white cloths lined the streets. The Ojude Oba grounds, once echoing with horse hooves and praises, became a place of reflection. The burial program of Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona highlighted a profound clash between traditionalist groups and Islamic group. The traditionalist groups, particularly the International Council for Ifa Religion, ICIR, and Isese worshippers, were barred by security forces from participating in customary rituals such as those traditionally performed by the Osugbo confraternity. The legal reforms now support a monarch's choice of burial rites based on personal faith, but many traditionalists feel those laws were used to bypass centuries-old Yoruba practices. While the law and constitution were ultimately on the side of honoring the late king's Islamic rites, the episode has sparked sharp debate over cultural heritage and evolving identity in modern Nigeria. His burial was royal and sacred, held on July 14, 2025, followed Islamic rites at his private Igbeba residence beside his mother's grave. It was a dignified ceremony attended by dignitaries such as former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Governor Sanwo-Olu, Aliko Dangote, and numerous high chiefs. From Oba Fesogbade, the warrior in the Age of Empire, to Oba Adetona, the monarch of modernity, the throne of the Awujale remains one of the most revered symbols in Yoruba land. It is not merely a seat of power, it is a spiritual covenant with the people. And though Oba Adetona now rests among the ancestors, his legacy lives in every Ijebu child who dares to dream, in every stall at the Ojude Oba, and in the deep, enduring pride of a people who remember their kings not just by name, but by their deeds. So, what do you think? Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona, laid to rest with Islamic rites, not traditional ones. Does that change how we see royal legacy and faith in Yoruba culture? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe more African stories like this deserve the spotlight, hit that like button, share with someone who loves history, and don't forget to subscribe to AfroLore Studio for more deep dives into Yoruba kingship, tradition, and legacy. More powerful stories are on the way.